Goblin. It's also called something else. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing well. I have another list of shows for you, another category of shows, and they will fit into the kind of like either romantic genre or just kind of like, I don't know, like day in the life, but with romance, you know what I mean? And let's get started. Okay, so if you guys are looking for a little romance, first up on the list is Gossip Girl. I know it's kind of like high school day in the life, but there's some romance in it. It's a show that it's American, and I think it was on Netflix. I watched it on Netflix. But if you guys are looking to watch that or rewatch that, I would highly recommend it just because it's easy to watch. Next on the list is a show called Love Yourself. I just finished that one. It's actually a Chinese show, but it is also on Netflix, and it is very romantic, very light, very funny, and easy to watch through, so I would highly recommend it. I really like the acting by the actors, and it's a show that starts out and you kind of think you know like where the show's going, but it has some things going on that like you wouldn't necessarily expect. So definitely would recommend. It's called Find Yourself. Find Yourself. That's what the show's called. So next up on the list I have Sex and the City. Obviously it's like their day-to-day lives. I'm talking like you know the characters, but if you do know the characters, 4 women living in New York City, and it's kind of like how their lives go as they're in the city, but it's also got some romance to it. It's mostly funny, very easy to watch through, a lot of seasons, and then there are also some movies. So if you're interested in that, I would highly recommend it. I think it's a very good show. Even when I go back and watch it now, even though it's older, I'm like, wow, I still really like this. So I definitely think that's a good choice. So another one on my list is a show called Goblin. It's also called something else? Goblin. It's also called Goblin, the Great and Lonely God. It is a Korean show. I don't remember how many episodes it is. I think like 20 something. It's a romance and there's other stuff going on. I could have definitely put this in supernatural romance. It's not he's not like there's no like goblin in the like Western thought of like what goblins are. In Korea they have their own. Goblin means something different than how we think of it. So it's a very good show, very romantic, very dramatic. Just, it's a good show, a very good ride. I don't want to give like too much away. I think you should just watch it. So just, yeah. Okay, another show, Pushing Daisies. It wasn't on the air that long, but if you haven't seen it, it's a really fun show. It's there's a supernatural kick to it, but it's also just mostly romance. So it's a very good show and very pretty, very unique. Like it doesn't look like most shows look. So if you can find that, I think definitely a very good option. I think it was on ABC when it was out, but an American show. Very good. So next on my list is another Korean show. It's called Boys Over Flowers. Most people who watch Korean television have already seen it, but if you haven't, it's a good show. I like it. I saw it. It was actually the first Korean drama I watched ever, and I watched it, oh my god, 10 years ago? Yeah, 10 years ago. So it was a good show. It's like a romance, set in high school. Funny, dramatic, crazy. Don't take it too seriously. Just, it's a good show. Also, it's a show that they have remade multiple times. So in multiple countries. There's one called Meteor Garden that's new that came out in China. That one is good at the beginning, but it kind of goes off the rails. There's like an old Japanese version. There's an old Chinese version. But I would highly recommend the Korean version. It's just, I don't know, I think it's the most like succinct and like well-made version. So Boys Over Flowers, good show. If you haven't seen Korean television, it's where I started, so maybe it's where you want to start also. So next on my list, it's a show, it's in its 4th season. They're supposed to have the 5th season coming out soon. I've been waiting with bated breath. I don't know where it is, but it's a show, it's called Lucifer. Yes, the title is what it is. But it's kind of like a romance. It's mostly romance. Well, it's a lot of romance. I don't know. It's kind of a cop show too, so be aware of that. But it's like a supernatural cop show romance, which is why it's so hard for me to categorize these shows. But it's a very good show. I like it. And they will be completing the show, which I really love, because they're not going to do more than 5 seasons. So once the 5th season comes out, which it's not out yet, but once it comes out, it will have a beginning, middle, and end, which I love. And it's very funny, and yeah, good show. I like it. So the next show I have for you guys, or it's kind of like 2 shows. I have the show Secret Garden. That it's a little older. It's Korean, and it's like not super supernatural. There's just like a little twist to it, and I really like it. I think it's just like very romantic and sweet, and I don't know, there's a lot going on in it, and I just really like it. I think it's super easy to watch. The main actor in it, if you really want to see another show he's in, he just had another show come out, and it's called Crash Landing on You. That one is not supernatural at all. It's a completely different like storyline, but if you really like that actor after you've seen Secret Garden, you might want to check out Crash Landing on You. Also another very epic romance type show. So also very good choice. Also, Crash Landing on You is definitely on Netflix. I'm not sure if Secret Garden is on Netflix, but I think it might be. Also, some of these shows have like other titles, so for whatever reason you can't get the show to come up that you think you should, then just Google and double check to make sure that it's not under some other title, because some of these shows, they change the titles after they've already come out. I have another show on my list, and it's called Followers. I wouldn't say it's super romantic. It's kind of like Sex and the City esque, and it's kind of like day in the life for like women aspiring to do things type show, but there's also a romantic element. Very good show. I don't know. Like the actors are very natural and like fun. It was just a good show, and it's like not too long. You can watch through it. I think it's only 12 episodes. Brand new, very modern. Yeah, check it out. It's a good show. And I also have for you guys another show called Tokyo Alice. It is on Amazon Prime. It's Japanese. Followers is Japanese. I probably should have mentioned that. It's on Netflix, but it's Japanese. And Tokyo Alice is also Japanese. That one's on Amazon Prime. It is definitely a romance type show. Very lighthearted and fun and funny. So yes, very easy to watch. And I would check that one out because it is such a good show. Most of these shows are like, I tried to make lighthearted romance. There are some shows that I have in other categories which have romance in them, but they maybe are a little darker, so I didn't put them on the list. I would say Goblin is probably a little dark, but it lightens up. It starts out light and it ends light, so yeah, it's a good show. But I would say that I tried to keep, you know, happier shows in this category specifically. I hope you guys liked this video. I have some other categories coming up for you as we work our way to 105 TV shows. So I hope you guys will check those out. Subscribe if you like these lists. I hope you guys are doing well. If you have any more romantic shows that I haven't thought of, then please leave them down in the comment section just so we can get like a thing going where we see what everyone's watching. That way you can find new shows that maybe you haven't seen before. And I hope you guys stay healthy and stay safe, as I always say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.